Should you buy the M5 Pro or Max MacBook Pro now, or wait for the potential redesign of the new M6 OLED MacBook Pro that's meant to be coming out later this year? Well, I'm in that exact predicament now. I've got an M1 MacBook Air with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. It's done absolute wonders for me over the last 5 years, but it's in definite need of an upgrade, and I really don't know what I should do. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think you should get the M5 Pro MacBook Pro now, and also 5 reasons why I think you should wait for the potential M6 OLED redesigned MacBook. The first reason why, let's talk about, I think you should buy the M5 Pro or Max MacBook Pro now, and that is if it's in absolute desperate need for your work. So if you're a videographer like I am, if you absolutely need a new machine that's going to potentially help your jobs and it's really going to affect your business in a negative way by not upgrading now, then I always think you should go for the option that helps your business now, because the clients that you may have now is way more important than a fancy new touchscreen OLED later on in the year. The second reason why I think you should buy the M5 Pro or Max now is if you solely only need your MacBook for its performance. So for the amazing M5 Pro or M5 Max chip, the RAM, the higher SSD, if you only need it for performance based, so for example, again, like me, I'm a video editor, I just need it for the power to be able to run DaVinci Resolve, Lightroom. I don't need an OLED touchscreen, which is another reason why I'm thinking, why would I wait to get an OLED touchscreen when in reality I could definitely do with a new MacBook now to help me with my work, and especially when I only need performance. And another thing is, because 90% of the time I'm at my desk editing on my color accurate monitor, I'm not even looking, like the minute it's down, I'm not even looking at the screen. So if I did get the M6 OLED, I'll only be using it like what, 10-20% of the time, where I'm either in bed or I'm traveling or I'm on a remote job or I'm downstairs on the sofa, for example. That's one thing that you've also got to consider. If it is literally just solely performance that you want, an OLED touchscreen is definitely not going to help with the performance of your MacBook. The M5 Pro and M5 Max is already ridiculous anyway, and that's probably more than enough for a lot of people out there, and especially me. I think you should get the M5 Pro or Max now, because again, it's going to help you out now and help you out for the rest of the year, rather than potentially waiting for a new M6 MacBook with an OLED screen that might not actually help you. It's more of a luxury and nice to have an OLED touchscreen. So another reason why I think you should get the M5 Pro or Max now is that there's actually rumors that it's not going to be a MacBook Pro, it's going to be a MacBook Ultra with the OLED screen, and that's going to be like their next tier. So they're going to have the MacBook Neo, they're going to have the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, and then they're going to have that MacBook Ultra, which is the higher premium tier, and that is the one that's going to have the OLED touchscreens. And I've also seen a report that because it's going to be not a MacBook Pro, it's not actually meant to be replacing the M5 Pro or M5 Max. There's meant to be apparently a price increase, because when the iPhone and the iPad went to OLED, there was apparently a 15 to 20% price increase. So is it worth paying a potential £300 to £400 extra for an OLED touchscreen? Well, for a lot of people, and if I'm being honest, for me, yes, it is worth paying that extra money for it, because you're getting a lovely touchscreen OLED, but with all the potential other upgrades like a dynamic island and a full redesign. I personally think that is worth the upgrade, but them upgrades are more of a luxury. You could be spending that extra £300-400 on upgrading the RAM. So for example, on the M5 Pro, if you want to go from 24 gig RAM to 48 gigabytes of RAM, it's a very steep £400. But you can actually consider, what would you rather have, an M6 Pro OLED touchscreen with 24 gigabytes of RAM, or would you rather have the M5 Pro with 48 gigabytes of RAM and it's the exact same price? So you're getting double the RAM, it's probably going to last you longer as well. You might not need 48 gigabytes of RAM, but in 5 years' time, with all these new cameras and everything like that, you might need 48 gigabytes of RAM, or it might significantly help your workflow in 4 or 5 years' time. And if you're going to be spending all this money on a MacBook, you want it to last at least 4, 5, 6, 7 years maybe. If you've got that extra cash, then go for it. But if you're literally in an hour in and you're on a little bit of a budget, it might not be worth getting a complete premium MacBook when it does come out. Another reason is if they're increasing the price of the MacBook Pro anyway, or MacBook Ultra, I should say, if it is going to be called that, because of the OLED touchscreen, well, with all the increases of RAM prices in 2026, Apple might increase the prices of their RAM as well. And if they do that, it's going to cost even more money. So for the price of RAM, what you might be able to get now on, like I said, if you need amazing performance only on the M5 Pro or M5 Max, if you do decide to wait for the OLED, not only are you going to be paying a premium because of the OLED touchscreen, you might have to be paying more for the RAM as well because of these price increases of the RAM and the SSD as well. And now the fifth reason why I think you should buy the M5 Pro or M5 Max now and not wait for the OLED version is because, well, it's a complete redesign, which is obviously amazing, and that's what everyone's saying. That's why you should wait, because it is a redesign. This is the first version where you have an OLED MacBook. They've got a lot better over the years with the burn-in issues with OLEDs, and obviously I don't think Apple would make a MacBook Pro with burn-in issues if they do have an OLED screen. You never know. It's their first generation of it. There could be some problems. There could be some manufacturing problems. There could be unknown issues that we're not sure about. If they're doing an OLED screen and a touchscreen as well, they've never done a touchscreen MacBook before, there might be some issues there. We don't know what it's going to be like. So if you do end up waiting for it and getting the first gen, there could be some hidden issues that we're not sure on that you might not even notice until a couple of weeks of actually using it. Maybe a couple of months down the line, you might start to see some problems. Whereas if you get this MacBook Pro now and then potentially upgrade in 3-4 years time, then you could get the MacBook Ultra, if it's going to be called that, with the OLED touchscreen. And by the time that comes around, they'll be on their third, fourth, maybe even fifth generation of their OLED touchscreen. So they've had 3, 4, 5 years to absolutely master and perfect the screen, so you're not actually using the first generation of it with the potential issues. You'll have the version of it that's 3-4 years down the line that they've mastered. Is it best to wait, read the reviews, see what people's thoughts are after a year or two first, and then potentially get one when they fix it later down the line, rather than buying it on the first generation and then seeing the problems for yourself and then potentially regret buying it because you should have maybe waited a couple of years for later generations? So there's some of the reasons why I think you should buy the M5 Pro or Max now. So we're going to be talking about now reasons why you should wait for the M6 touchscreen OLED MacBook Pro or MacBook Ultra when it does come out later in the year. Let's face it, it's a redesign. It's going to be pretty cool. Even though these Macs have just come out, it's only let's say 8 months away potentially if they release them in November or December. So all you have to do is just firm this year, wait 8 to 10 months, however long it's going to be, maybe even if it's 12 months next year and it comes out early next year. All you've got to do is firm what you've got now for a year. Can you make it work? And because if you spend 2K now, let's say, that's £2,000 that you've spent, and then as soon as 8 months down, 10 months down the line, when the OLED comes out, you see it, everyone's raving about it, the touchscreen is amazing, everything like that. Are you going to regret buying the new M5 chips, and are you going to want to sell it to potentially get it and then lose money that way? So it's obviously a lot of money you invest in, so you want to make sure it's the right one. And if you do end up spending money on the M5 Pro, and this is exactly what I'm going through now, my thoughts, in 8 months' time, will I be like, why can't I just firm it and wait for this? Because this OLED touchscreen looks amazing. I know what I'm like. I'm going to be like, oh, I regret it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to do this. Why didn't I wait? But I know what I'm like, and I love an OLED. Once you go OLED, I'll never not have an OLED TV ever again. I absolutely love my OLED TV. If you're like me and you like that, then it might be worth just waiting a little bit longer just to at least see the reviews, because you can always buy the M5 Pro if you're not overly keen on it when it does come out. It's just because we're not sure what it's going to be like. Is it best just to wait and firm it just to see what it's like, see a few reviews first, and then you can make your decision. Another reason why you should wait is obviously not just for the OLED screen, but for the touchscreen as well. Now, a lot of people have their concerns, and I've seen more people say, oh, I'm not interested in a touchscreen, a Mac don't need a touchscreen, this, that, and that. I'm not overly bothered why they're giving it to us. And if I'm being honest, I don't think a touchscreen is needed on a MacBook. That's what iPads are for. And if I wanted a touchscreen, I'll just buy an iPad. There's a reason why they haven't done it up until now, and that's probably because they're absolutely perfecting it. So why haven't they released a fold phone yet? And when Samsung are on their 6th generation, it's because they probably want to make it the best it possibly can be, and they want to spend the time perfecting it before releasing it to the audience. Because the early Samsung Fold models, I've seen they weren't very good. So Apple want to make sure that they have the best of the best version of whatever it is there is. And if they've been working on this touchscreen MacBook, then I'm sure it's going to be good. You never know. It could absolutely shock everyone. It could blow everyone away, and it could be absolutely game changing. And people could be like, how have we never had a touchscreen on a Mac before? And if you buy the M5 Pro now and then see how good the touchscreen is, it could really help with video editing. It could really help with just day-to-day tasks. It could really help with photo editing, just changing the sliders here and there. If you don't want to use a mouse, if you're out on a train and you obviously don't want to use a trackpad, you can just use the touchscreen. It could be absolutely unbelievable and game-changing, and we don't know if it is, and we don't know if it's not going to be. So again, waiting to see what it's going to be like just by another 8 to 10 months, you could thank yourself for waiting, because you might absolutely love the touchscreen on the new MacBook. Now, another reason is obviously, let's just talk about the OLED in general. Now, OLED is king. Like I said earlier, I absolutely love it. I won't go have a TV without an OLED again. And if I'm being honest, even though I edit most of the things on my monitor at my desk, them little times when I am in bed, them little times when I'm on the sofa downstairs and I want to maybe edit a quick reel, or if I'm watching a film sometimes when I'm traveling away, I might really absolutely love that OLED touchscreen. And yes, it might not be needed, but again, if it's there, there's no harm in it. And if anything, it's going to benefit you. So having an OLED touchscreen, just waiting that little bit extra longer if you love OLED just like me, even though the screens on these MacBooks are so good anyway, and a lot of people might not even notice a difference. If I'm being honest, it is worth paying the premium because I love OLED. Another reason is because if it is the MacBook Ultra, we don't know what that's going to be like. Yes, there's rumors of a touchscreen OLED, but because it is paying that extra premium, they might actually increase the price even more, but it may ship with higher RAM. It may ship with higher SSD. It might like come base with 36 gigabytes, for example, which is obviously even better for your money and you're getting even better performance. But not only that, there might be features that we're not sure about, or there might be features that might be on it that are on the iPhone, for example, like the dynamic island. That could be absolutely game changing on a MacBook. And if it is a redesign, why wouldn't they put the dynamic island on there? And especially, like I said, if you don't need it now, then why not wait? And then you can compare and look at reviews, compare the two, and then actually make a decision in 8 to 10 months time. There might be other features that we don't even know about yet that are coming to it as well, which is the fifth reason potentially why you should wait for the OLED version. And that is because it might ship with cellular data. There was rumors that the M5 Pro and M5 Max would actually have cellular support as well, but obviously that didn't happen. So they might actually be saving that feature for the M6 OLED version. And if I'm being honest, cellular support is pretty game changing in my opinion, because the amount of times, even if you're editing in a car on the way to holiday, for example, and you need to access your emails, you don't have to always constantly go on your phone, connect to your hotspot. It could be slow. If you're in a coffee shop connecting to their free Wi-Fi, having cellular support, obviously we've never had it on a MacBook before, so we don't know what it's going to be like. But I know from the times where I've wanted internet on it and I've tried to connect to my hotspot on my phone and it's just been slow, it's just been long, it's just that extra step. Whereas if it already has it, you can access the internet wherever you are. And if you pair that cellular support with the touchscreen on the Mac with the amazing M6 performance, which is probably going to be the best performing MacBook there is, you'll have the most versatile Mac out there. You can edit at a desk, you can edit in the mountains, wherever, as long as you've got signal, obviously. And you've also got touchscreen if you do want to get some like really cool, whatever they do with it, like an iPad. So you might have something that can do absolutely everything, and it might do absolutely everything the best it can be as well. They're the main reasons why I think you should buy the M5 Pro now or wait for the M6 OLED redesign, because if I'm being honest, no choice is the wrong choice. If you need something now, then buy the M5 Pro. If you need something now and you're like me and you think you'll regret not waiting, if you can just firm it, that's not the worst choice in the world either. Like, there's no bad choice here. Do what is best for you, do what's best for your business, and do what makes you happy. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think you're gonna do? If you did enjoy this video and found it helpful, hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.